Welcome to our Trump briefing program. Today, we've got some intriguing news on the legal front as a British judge has ordered President Trump to shell out over £625,000 to a consulting firm he sued regarding a controversial dossier. This case, which Trump claimed was false, was dismissed earlier this year, leading to this hefty bill. It seems the legal battles just keep piling up. Next up, the auto industry is feeling the heat as Stellantis has temporarily shut down its Windsor plant for 2 weeks due to new U.S. tariffs on vehicle imports. With a 25% tariff now in effect, many automakers are struggling to adapt, and union officials are expressing their frustrations. The situation is causing quite a stir in the North American auto market, and we'll keep you updated on how this unfolds. Lastly, Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre is taking action by promising to eliminate the federal sales tax on Canadian-made vehicles in response to these tariffs. This move could save buyers a significant amount and aims to support the struggling auto industry. It's a bold proposal that's sure to shake things up. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage. Yahoo US reports that a British judge has ordered Donald Trump to pay over £625,000, approximately $820,000, in legal costs to Orbis Business Intelligence, a firm he unsuccessfully sued over a controversial dossier. This dossier, compiled by former British intelligence officer Christopher Steele, contained unverified allegations about Trump's conduct in Russia, including claims of compromising sexual activities. Trump, who vehemently denies these allegations, argued that the dossier was false and violated British data protection laws. However, Judge Karen Stein dismissed his case, stating it was bound to fail due to the significant delay in bringing the action. As a result, Trump must now face the financial repercussions of his legal battle. The Toronto Star highlights the impact of Trump's newly imposed auto tariffs, as Stellantis has temporarily shut down its Windsor, Ontario plant due to the 25% tariffs on imported vehicles. This 2-week halt reflects the broader turmoil within the auto industry, which is grappling with the consequences of these tariffs. While some manufacturers like Honda and Toyota continue production unaffected, the uncertainty looms large over the sector. Unifor union leaders express frustration at the situation, emphasizing the need for clarity and accountability from automakers. The tariffs are expected to disrupt operations and could lead to further plant shutdowns, as the industry navigates the complex landscape of North American trade. In response to the tariffs, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has pledged to eliminate the federal sales tax on Canadian-made vehicles, a move he claims would save buyers significant money. Speaking in Kingston, Ontario, Poilievre also announced plans for a $3 billion fund to support businesses affected by the tariffs, aiming to protect jobs during the trade dispute. He emphasized the urgency of renegotiating the Canada-US-Mexico Agreement on Trade and committed to immediate action should his party win the upcoming election. The political landscape is increasingly charged as Canadian leaders seek to counteract the economic fallout from U.S. trade penalties, with Poilievre's proposals aiming to bolster the domestic auto industry amid the ongoing turmoil. The Toronto Star reports from Halifax that the Atlantic premiers are grappling with economic uncertainty despite Canada being excluded from the latest round of U.S. tariffs. President Trump announced a 10% baseline tariff on imports, but Canadian goods under the Free Trade Agreement remain exempt. However, Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston stressed that many residents will still feel the impact of U.S. trade policies, especially with the continuation of a 25% tariff on automobile imports and existing tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum. Retaliatory measures are in place, including increased highway tolls for U.S. commercial vehicles and a boycott of American goods by New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt, highlighting the ongoing economic challenges in the region. The Toronto Star also notes that Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced that Canada will respond to the U.S. auto tariffs with its own 25% levy on imported vehicles from the United States. This move underscores the escalating trade tensions and the commitment of the Canadian government to protect its domestic industries. As the situation develops, the implications for both economies remain to be seen, with a potential for further retaliation and escalation. The Toronto Star further details a significant market reaction to Trump's tariffs, with North American stock markets experiencing a sharp decline. The S&P/TSX Composite Index fell by over 800 points, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped nearly 1,500 points. Investors are increasingly concerned that these tariffs could lead to a global recession, with economists warning of inflationary pressures and slowed economic growth. Market analysts suggest that the recent announcements indicate a major structural shift in U.S. trade policy, leaving investors uncertain about future developments. The Canadian dollar, however, has strengthened against the U.S. dollar amidst the turmoil, reflecting a complex and shifting economic landscape. Yahoo US reports that Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced Canada's decision to impose a reciprocal 25% tariff on US auto imports in response to President Donald Trump's tariffs on Canadian autos. Carney emphasized that this retaliation is aimed to create maximum impact in the US while minimizing harm to Canada, noting that the integrated nature of the auto sector means parts frequently cross the border multiple times before assembly. The Canadian auto industry, which employs 125,000 people directly and nearly 500,000 indirectly, is already feeling the repercussions, as evidenced by Stellantis temporarily halting production at its Windsor plant. Carney also introduced a $2 billion Canadian fund to protect Canadian auto jobs affected by these tariffs. The Toronto Star highlights Ontario Premier Doug Ford's concerns regarding the impact of U.S. tariffs on the province's vital auto sector. While he expressed relief that Canada and Mexico are not subject to the latest tariffs, Ford remains apprehensive about the potential fallout, especially since vehicles manufactured in Canada may still face tariffs based on the American content in them. With Stellantis pausing production in Windsor, Ford hopes for federal support for affected workers and is optimistic that the shutdown will be temporary. In another report from the Toronto Star, Canadian apparel companies like Aritzia and Lululemon experienced significant stock price declines following Trump's announcement of new tariffs. Aritzia's shares plummeted by 20%, while Lululemon's dropped nearly 12%. The broader market reaction reflects concerns over Trump's tariff policies, which economists warn could trigger a recession. Although Canada was not included in the new tariffs, it already faces duties on various goods, including autos and steel, raising alarms about the potential economic impact on Canadian businesses. The Toronto Star reports that Prime Minister Mark Carney announced Canada will impose a 25% tariff on American-made cars in retaliation to President Trump's recent auto tariffs, which took effect at midnight. This move has already resulted in nearly 1,000 U.S. auto workers being laid off, with markets plunging globally as investors reacted to the escalating trade war. Carney emphasized that the economic relationship with the U.S. must be reset, expressing concern that a recession may be unavoidable due to the tariffs' impact on the U.S. economy, which could also affect Canada. He highlighted the need for Canada to strengthen trade ties with other allies and diversify its defense procurement, while lamenting the deterioration of the Canada-US relationship as a tragedy. Carney's announcement was met with support from provincial leaders, including Premier Doug Ford, who called for a united Team Canada response. Meanwhile, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre criticized the U.S. as an unreliable trading partner and proposed measures to support Canadian workers. The situation has sparked discussions about the fate of the auto parts sector, with experts warning that Canadian communities reliant on manufacturing could face significant challenges ahead. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Morning coffee, fresh off the press. Reading headlines, feeling blessed. World keeps turning, stories unfold. Every moment, news gets told. Flipping channels, clicking tabs. Feeding my mind's hunger grabs. Facts and figures, images bright. News keeps rolling day and night. Headlines and headlines, can't get enough. Learning about the world, yeah, it's my stuff. Headlines and headlines, stories unfold. Knowledge is power, truth to behold. Politics, science, sports, and art. Every story plays its part. Global voice. to know. Never stopping, always go. Scrolling, swiping, reading on. Daylight breaks in the dawn. Headlines and headlines can't get